when the first time the topic I've heard of it is, what am I to talk about change? Do people not know about change? I think everyone heard of power of compounding. I think it's taught, so you know change happens. It's a very beautiful TED talk earlier given by James Clear. Atomic Habits, if you've heard of the book name, he is the author. Some of you might have heard of it. It could be a repetition, but I'll still go ahead and tell the story. So British cycling guys, from early 90s to early 2000s, hardly they've got any medals. A century of hardly any medals. So come 2003, they get Dave Brailsford as the new performance director. As you expect any person, first thing he'll think is, I should make these changes, let's say the list of 5 changes, and I think the team will grow. The good point about him is, he did not want to make 5 big changes. He wanted to make everything as a 1% increment over the previous one. And you'll be bewildered to believe that the 1% could involve just heating the shots of the cyclists. Warm ones will give muscle better recovery. It could even be using a gel, whatever they were using, change 1% of that so that people can feel much better. So minor changes led to them winning 60% of medals in Beijing Olympics 2008, and 2012 they were sweeping the medals, and post which almost for the 5 years following that they were getting all the Tour de France. So that's the power of 1% change guys. So what do you think, if I change 1% every day over a year, how many times will 1.01 to the power of 365 be? Guess? Not here, people who are looking at the screen know. Great. So what about the reverse of it? If I reduce my effort by 1% every day, how much does it go to? Anyone? 0.03. So that's the power of 1% guys. That's the power of compounding. That's the power of what change can bring to all of us. Even if you go historically, I'll keep going a little back from what are the recent incidents. So the road not taken, I'm sure Robert Frost, every one of us heard of it. You would have heard of the adage also, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's said in 1190. What about the only constant in life is change? Heard of it? Told in 6th century BC. So what am I new? What am I talking about? All this, everyone's aware, right? And everyone knows there is change. Everyone knows, right from the cosmic worlds to the Bhagavad Gitas of the world to the Qurans of the world have spoken about change. So while I was pondering this yesterday, one of your alum again was asking me, what is constant in change? Change is constant, but what is constant in change? Kept me thinking. Probably later part of the presentation I'll take you through that. But for now, I think one thing which I understood is life means movement. Unless we move, unless we change, there is nothing called as life. So it's bound to change and we have to treat it as an opportunity. Agreed everyone? So how do we do that? We'll understand. But before that, there's one more popular saying. I'm not sure if most of the people have heard of it. Change can't be given to you every time. You must bring the change yourself. Any idea who told this? K.V. Ramachandran Iyer. He's basically a bus conductor. He wants you to get the change while you are traveling in a bus. So change can be any types guys. So let's get back to the change that we are thinking of. So what about change? So there is a continuum of change, right? It could be good, bad. It could be sudden or continuum, as we've been asked to. So, for example, guys, a bamboo takes almost 3 years to grow its roots and stabilize it before it actually takes its final shape. So the duration could be varying. Even the earthquake, for example, people say it comes in an instant, but there's a lot of year of tectonic plates getting rubbed against each other before it actually erupts. So there's a lot of work which goes in. Couple of more things, guys. There's a book by, there are a lot of books I'll keep referring to because I don't want to talk what they have spoken, but just to give you a perspective, you guys can read it otherwise also. Future Shock is a book which I like by Alvin Toffler. He keeps talking about how quickly are things changing. From the time a transistor was invented to a radio came up, from a radio to a TV, from a TV to a computer, from a computer to your laptop, from a laptop to a cell phone, the rate of change is something which you need to be aware of. So the change at which it is happening is something which is alarming. Now today, it is predicted that probably in the next 5 to 8 years, you might not be using cell phones. Everything is probably going to be an IoT, where you wear specs, there's a chip inside your brain which does things for you. Now, what if the change is at this rapid pace? It's not just change we are talking about, it's the pace of change that we are talking about. How do you prepare yourself? How do you equip yourself? I also run a couple of schools, guys, in Hyderabad. So this question came. Now we are training someone who is a first grader or a second grader or probably a fifth grader. They'll actually come to work 20 years from now. What do we teach them today? If I teach them medicine, for example, biology or something like that, are doctors going to be there then? Will they be doing the same work that they are doing today? Are engineers going to be there then? Today robots are constructing some of our buildings that we are doing. The only thing that we zeroed upon after a lot of introspection is adaptability. That is the only skill we need to give the children, that today you be prepared for a change. You expect that there is going to be a change and ensure that you are prepared to the change. That's the only way. How do I look at personally? I always look at there should be some momentum which is given for you to do the change. Let's say you are moving in one orbit. Some escape velocity is required for you to move to the next orbit. Either it is lower or higher. So for you to gain that energy, yes, there is some impetus that you need to put. A lot of people say positive change. What is positive change? Anyone? Positive change? Increment आया तो positive change है? Yes, no. You get placed, positive change. Good salary, positive change. What about you get kids at one point in life? Believe me guys, it's positive change. Got a kid recently. Yes. So, I think one thing which we always keep focusing upon, I'll again come back to this topic, is on outcome versus process. So, we always keep dwelling upon the outcome rather than just focusing on the process. The next step, when I take you through and break down the steps, I'll dwell more upon this, guys. Now, change can be of two categories. Again, I am talking about conundrums, guys, just recapping it. One, either it's a sudden change or is it a continuum? Is it a good change or a bad change? Is it a forced change or a foreseen change? That means either there is a change happening and I am affected by that, or I am responsible for the change. You guys are going to be managers going forward. So there are two ways. The company has taken a decision, they have a goal, they have a vision, I am aligned to that, I am going by that. Second, you come back and say, yes, but in that space, I have a micro space, which is I take up this problem set and try to create my path for it. I will drive the change that I want. So it is your decision that will definitely help you guys in terms of how do you choose to approach a change. Observing it from the outside is definitely something which will help. One small anecdote from my first boss or first super boss. My first job, Tata Steel, I think some of you might get placed there also. I was leaning back in the chair. My desk is just when you get into a very big floor. The moment you enter, mine is the first deck. My super boss lives in the other corner. He was walking by and one day apparently, I did not recognize it then, I was just pulling my chair back, I was lying back. He did not say anything then, he went by, I didn't even notice. Come back again, there's a town hall meeting in which he calls out, there's one young chap who is actually leaning back during the office hours. And this is my first 1 month into the work. I was like, पढ़ने वाली आज, कुछ तो होने वाला है. He told, the next thing he told was, I really appreciate him. I was like blown. भाई मैं तो almost सो रहा था, ये मुझे appreciate कर रहा है. So then he told how he has interpreted it, and which I actually was doing also, is there's a big problem. There was some logistics problem I was solving and I couldn't crack it. I just put the laptop there, moved back, and I was like, where did this start? How could I solve it? And he was saying, that's how you approach things. The moment you are not in the fix of things, from the present, you move back and reflect upon. That is when I think there is a lot of approach could change, you could find better solutions. I think one of this I have introduced into the schools that I work with. Every day in the schools that I work with, evening before the school ends, there is a 20-minute reflection time. And I would strongly recommend all of you to try it also. What is this reflection time? Whatever is taught during the day, from the first period to the last period, students just write about it. Nothing else. They just sit down and write, first hour I have learnt this, second hour I have learnt this, third hour I have learnt this. That improves their memory, and that is ensuring, and there's very positive results, very positive feedback. Whatever they are doing at home also, they're coming back and the parents are very happy that they're reflecting upon what is happening. They're not just going by the flow, taking a step back, looking at it. To you guys also, please do that. Every once in a while, if possible every day, come back, look at it and then take it forward. B school hai, so when I started taking this session, the first thing which came was, pura globe dunga, faf bolenge and all of that stuff. Should I not put some structure to it? So I came up, I started looking for what are the process of change. How can I say that, okay, this is all good, I know change has to happen, but how do I do it? What are the stages of changes? So I came with two frameworks. It could be something like noticing. First you notice what the change is happening, which is for external change. You're wanting to change, you're doing the change and you're liking the change. That's how I think you create a habit, or as one of our previous speakers has spoken, it's a ritual that you start creating. So those are one framework. Evolve, innovate, connect is another framework. So there's a lot of frameworks, you can choose which one you like. But today I'll talk upon a different framework, which is pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and then maintenance. So first about pre-contemplation. That means firstly, you need to address the elephant in the room. 90% of the cases I have seen across businesses that I have managed, across various boards that I have seen, I don't think anyone admits the elephant in the room. For example, I'll say Kodak. Have you heard of this, guys? Yeah. So Kodak was the first one to actually have a digital camera. They had, but they did not launch it. The reason is they thought it will cannibalize my film business, the film making business, and thus I shouldn't. There are other examples I am sure you know of, which could be Nokia, BlackBerry, Orkut. Heard of all these names? Didn't change according to the times, and they are what they are. So it is important. You can't be a frog in the hot water. I'm sure you know the story, so I'm not repeating again. Identifying the problem and accepting that there needs to be a change is the first step. The second step is contemplation. That means once you understood the problem, once you have known what it is, how do you start acting upon it? I'll give you a personal anecdote again. Among a lot of things that I do, OTT platform, a regional OTT platform is something which I handle the business strategy for. So we plan to launch it in 2019 and we launched it in 2020 February. And we are like, great, we had a lot of plans for content, so on and so forth. We launched, we thought we will not launch without 5 web series / movies in our hand. We launched 2 of them on, I think February 8th, if I am not wrong, 2020. The next lot was getting ready, and I am sure everyone knows what happened after that. Come March 25th, it's Ugadi, it's like a big festival for South India, or Telugu people in special. We thought we'll do a big grand gala event and launch it. March 21st, COVID lockdown. You can't launch the app. Now what do we do with the app? There is an app with 2-3 pieces of content. We have already launched. Fortunately 2 or 3 were in making, so we could quickly roll them out, and probably by March 25th we got them out for the festival. Fine. We were very happy because the numbers skyrocketed. Everyone was at home. No one had anything to do. They were like, content de do, we will consume as you want. We were very happy. We were on the high. Come April, come May, we don't have content. What do we give to people? I'm sure everyone knows Allu Arjun, Pushpa star. Yes. So he's also one of our promoters. So his father, all of us were in a room discussing in terms of what do we do about this? Where do we get content from when it's COVID lockdown? Great idea came, which is Malayalam movies are doing really good. Why don't we actually take them and dub it and put it into Telugu? Suddenly everyone was like, you are saying 100% Telugu platform is our proposition, is the brand positioning that we have. You are saying 100% Telugu, you are getting Malayalam movies and putting it there. Debated a lot, finally we took the call, we are giving a Telugu content dubbed into it, worked wonders. 2-3 months people were like, yes, all the movies we have seen now give us something more. So it has been a constant updation in terms of what we do, and if there are any Telugu people here, they will really know a person called NBK, Nandamuri Balakrishna. He is equivalent to the Salman Khan of Bollywood guys. No one thought ever that we could make a talk show with him. We eventually decided one phone call and touch wood we have a talk show with him, and today that is comparable with Coffee with Currents in our part of the country. So unless you be open, you contemplate, you agree to that there is a problem, come back with wild thoughts onto the table. If it is personal, to your own table, or if it's with a group, to the group. Unless you do that, I don't think we'll be able to bring the change. It's also important in terms of what is the direction you are taking for the change and what is the quantum of change that you would want. That 1% I told you, remember it. You don't need to take a big leap of faith. The next one is about preparation and determination, guys. Preparation, one small anecdote that one of my family friends has done. He wants, have you heard of financial literacy? These days a lot of it is being taught in schools. I'm not sure if you're following, if you have cousins or someone, you will see it. This guy, what he had done is, he wants to teach financial literacy. So he gave, so the kid was coming and asking, I want games. What he did was a small change. He told, I'll give you 1,000 rupees, go buy what you want. What he is teaching? He is teaching budget to that guy. He is saying, how do you manage your finances? Tomorrow the kid will not feel he did not get what he want. He knows how to manage with what he has. That's what life is, right? As adults, all of us, maybe, I think some of you might still be funded by the parents, but maybe in the next 2-3 years you will know the responsibility of managing your own stuff. Break the bigger goals into smaller goals. Have quick solutions that you will be able to find out. Have rewards that will be remunerative enough. Then you will be able to take quick actions. Have low entry barriers. If you are planning to run a marathon, like I am not a runner at all. I hate running. I used to hate gym. But I decided that one day I have to run a marathon. At least a half marathon. The first kilometer was the toughest. But I decided I have to run, and if I have to run, I have to start with a very small milestone, which is 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers. And today, because I was happy with that 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers and the time that I clocked, I'm able to do I'm a regular 21k runner, guys. So break that problem into smaller ones and ensure that each one has a reward which will ensure that you are happy about it.